Hey everyone, I'm live here with Alexandria Ware of Ware Consulting. Welcome, Alexandria.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, the first question I always ask is to tell us what you do and how you help people.
We're consulting. I help people through specialized consulting and really with youth development organizations and organizations focused on child welfare. And then I do a lot of like scholarship helping for parents and families. So that is one of my biggest passions is education.
I love that. So, can you give us a little bit of background in how you got your entrepreneurial spirit and wanted to start this business?
So I grew up in the child welfare system when I was younger, and so aging out of care, I just became an advocate. So I advocated a lot for a lot of different things for kids to just be able to live a normal life per se. And so I was doing a lot of consulting work with the feds, with different organizations, doing keynote speeches, and so I was just like, well, I'm really good at it. I like talking to people. I like helping people. I like working with families and making sure that they're getting everything they do. So why not just give it a shot? And in my day job, I do a lot of programming. So we develop a lot of programs. So I was like, why not turn it into a consulting business on the side and make some extra money?
I love it. So you dug a little into this, but can you dig deeper into really that passion driving you?
The passion that drives me is this future generation, the youth. I'm really excited and proud of like our generation that's coming up underneath me. They're very much focused on making sure the generation behind them is prepared for success and being out there. And so everything I do is for the kids. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's the truth. Like I'm starting a shadow program at my job, and it's all about the kids for me, making sure that our kids are prepared for the next level of their life.
I love that. So it hasn't always been easy breezy, I'm sure. So what have been some of the challenges or struggles that you faced?
Yes. So I think my biggest struggle is I'm not a social media person. I like to use social media at the bare minimum. So just learning about marketing and social media and making sure like I'm putting myself out there and networking more. It was a really big challenge to join the Hive because I'm very much an introvert. And so having to talk to a lot of people constantly after work or do different events has been something that has been very different for me, but it's been really helping.
Mm-hmm. Well, you brought up the Hive. I'll go ahead and skip to that question. So how do you feel that the Hive has helped you personally and professionally?
I feel like it's connected me with some amazing women who have really kind of helped me think about things differently, even if I haven't like talked to them, but seeing posts and being at different events, and also just having the opportunity to have other women support me. So I have a pitch coming up for a nonprofit that I'm developing, and being able to know that I can post in there that, hey, other Hive members can come and watch, and be able to, give me feedback to make sure when I'm pitching the best to my ability.
I love that. Yeah, I always talk about how as entrepreneurs, we don't always have like coworkers in the same way you do at work, at, a day job. And so it's nice to be able to have people to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. So what really makes you unique in your approach with your consulting?
Well, I like to do a people-centered focus approach. So making sure that I'm looking at the people or the organization and what are their goals. If I'm working with a family whose kid says they want to go to K-State, but maybe parents want them to go to Oklahoma State, I'm going to focus on what the kid wants and how can we make sure that we're getting that kid what's going to make them happy ultimately. If they don't want to go to Oklahoma State, let's not send them there. Let's make sure we're focusing on them and driving them and their passion to be able to be successful because they have to be happy whatever they're doing. And so really putting it as an individual. So spending time getting to know you, spending time driving you. So like my nieces and nephews always tell me like, if they come to me about something, that turns into like my whole problem. So I'm like diving deep into it. I'm trying to figure out things. I'm sending them things. And so it's like your passion now becomes my passion. It's not just, okay, I'm doing this because I want the money, but this is what I'm passionate about. And I want to make sure that I'm helping youth and I'm there all in for you.
Help them be successful, like you said, in what they really want to do. I love that. So that's a lot to take on, mentally and everything. So how are you balancing, or I should say aligning your life to make sure that you are healthy in all ways?
Yes. So for me, self-care is built into my life every day. So I put my phone on do not disturb at 8 p.m. And that's just time for me to either read a book, meditate, watch TV, journal, whatever I feel like I want to do that night, even maybe going on a walk. And then once a month, I do something bigger for self-care. So sometimes it's going to see my friends in Kansas City. Sometimes it's just booking a hotel room here in Sedgwick County, you know, and just turning my phone off and just pampering myself.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just taking myself to like a nice restaurant and just being alone and enjoying my own company. So it looks different, but I really do enjoy self-care a lot. So
I love that. Those are great. Some great tips you got in there. So what insight would you give to somebody maybe at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey?
Trust the process. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it's really amazing, and you grow as a person and a professional. And then make sure you're joining some type of like co-working space to be around people who have the same like mindset as you, who can support you. And even if you like may not have a lot of money, business cards, marketing materials, something that gets you out there is really important. And I think for me, it's just been knowing like, okay, let's do Me to Be. Let me talk about youth development, you know, things like that that can make me really understand what I'm doing and how, you know, people can understand my passion that's behind this.
I love that. So how can bees help you? I know you have something coming up you mentioned. Can you remind them the day, time, and how they can help?
Yeah, so I am in a fellowship for former foster youth to create a nonprofit. And so next Friday, August 20th at 6 p.m., I'm going to be hosting like a pre-pitch deck. And so part of our fellowship is we get to pitch to potential funders. And so being a perfectionist and someone who's very like overachieving, I want to make sure that one, I win the money, and two, that my pitch is the best that it can be. So if you're available that night, please join me to give me some feedback on my story. It has to be 3 to 5 minutes long, and I would really appreciate it because it's been a year doing this fellowship online, and so I'm super excited to finish it and really just dive into opening a transitional living home for youth in care.
That'll be amazing. So it's 6 p.m. on August 20th here at the Hive, right? In the conference room. Mm-hmm. And if there's so many people, then we'll move to the main stage, right?
Yes. The more the merrier.
Yes. Well, and how do people get in touch with you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, so you can visit my website at wareconsulting.co, or you can email me at alexandria@wareconsulting.co.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone.